And this is Spiked Up.
Welcome to Spiked Up.
Welcome to Spiked Up.
Welcome to Spiked Up.
Hey there, Colorado track and field fans. Welcome to this week's edition of Spiked Up. As always, I'm Bobby Reyes, your host. Now we are here at the Niwot Market, our sponsor, with special guest Reese Kasper. Hey there, Colorado running fans. All right, this is it, your final warning. Well, like, sort of. The Niwot Mile goes down July the 4th, 7:30 a.m. at Niwot High School, running downhill to the Niwot Market. You're definitely not going to want to miss out on this event afterwards. We've got Bert's Pancake Breakfast. We've got a parade going on downtown. Whole shebang going on in Niwot, Colorado, July the 4th. That is correct. We've got less than a week. And also, another big announcement here. If you did not pick up on last week's edition of Spiked Up, I'm going to be on site streaming the event live. Yes, the Niwot Mile will be streamed live on my Instagram account. You can see it right here, Bobby Reyes on Instagram. Tune in. Lots going on July the 4th at Niwot. One more time, Niwot Mile is going downhill, and I'm going to be there on site, so I hope I'll see you there. Formally, or graduated Niwot, headed to Kansas State. We're going to talk about that in a bit, but you know, special edition this week. I want to bring Reese on because you just had a huge weekend in Eugene, Oregon. Nike Outdoor Nationals and U20s. Runner-up finish in the 400 meter hurdles at Nike Outdoor Nationals, 4th in the U20s, three 400 meter hurdle competitions, all of them under 60 seconds. Let's just start with your weekend.
Yeah, it definitely was like a lot, just knowing I was going into it running like 400 hurdle races, but I was really excited to go against really good competition. The first day was just prelims, and I PR'd with a 58. 7 or 8, which I was pretty happy with that. And then going into finals, I placed 4th, and it was just a really cool experience to like go against college girls that are top in the nation. So it was really cool. And then for Nike Nationals itself, to get second runner-up was super awesome. A little like disappointed in the fact that I couldn't like. If I don't know, You were right there. I watched the race in runner space. But it's still a super cool experience, and to compete against those girls and have that was really cool. Yeah. For my last nationals. And
you've only run the 400 meter hurdles 4 times so far? Yeah. Because I know you ran at Grace Southwest as well, and that was a sub 60 clocking. What's that like going from the 300 hurdles all season long, and then you're adding 100 meters? Like that's a quarter of the distance. And with hurdles, what's that like for you?
It definitely, like, going into it, I didn't think it'd be that much of a change, but it definitely, like, it is such a different race. Like, but honestly, I really like the 400 hurdles. I do love the 300 hurdles. I'm gonna miss those so much, but just having that experience before college was really cool, and knowing that like I kind of have like a new event to focus on. So yeah, I really liked it.
Was there any sort of like anxiety going into the like knowing that you have to add 100 meters? Because I know with the hurdles, you know, it could be disaster if you can't get up and over the hurdle. What was on your mind with when you're going to Great Southwest and adding 100 meters?
Honestly, I was definitely very nervous because like I know my race plan for the 300 hurdles, I know my steps, and I feel like I have those down. And I feel like going into the 400 hurdles, whole different race plan. My steps were definitely off, but it's super fun. But yeah.
And so I have to ask, because like this is kind of a technical question, but you know, there's a lot of people who don't run the hurdle or who've never run the hurdles, like myself included. I get like just anxious watching it because it's not just clearing the hurdle. Obviously, it's the form over the hurdle because you don't want to lose momentum. It's the steps in between, like you just mentioned. It's like this intricate puzzle, and you need all of the pieces to make it work. Yeah. Like, what's that like for you? Because I know it's like missing one piece can just be disaster.
For sure. Honestly, like I love running with hurdles than like open, and I kind of like it just because it distracts me like from the pain or just like the fact that I'm running, because I always have a hurdle in front of me. But it definitely, like, especially with the 100 hurdles, even though like I do like the 300 hurdles better, it's just so technical and it can get frustrating at times. But I'd rather run over hurdles than running open.
I feel like the 300 hurdles, or now that the 400 hurdles, has to be like one of the most brutal events in track and
gosh,
field.
yeah.
Like between that and 800, I've run the 8, but I've never run the hurdles. But I've just, to me, I'm like, that looks exhausting. Like always watching athletes at like that last hurdle or two, and you're just seeing like you're not fully getting the lift, but you're just trying to get up and over. It just looks, to me, I'm like, oh, I'm just cringing. So I have to ask, like, you started track as a junior. And you went on to finish second in the 100 hurdles at state, won the 300 hurdles at state. This year, you just sweep it all. How did you get into track and field? Because I know you didn't compete the first 2 years.
Yeah, so I actually moved here from Minnesota, middle of my junior year, and I started track my freshman year, but I was just getting off of an injury, so it was just kind of for fun. But then sophomore year is when I really started doing track, and I actually started doing hurdles for fun. I had like a last chance meet my sophomore year.
You just decided to do it for fun?
Yeah, I was already qualified. My main event was the 400 for a while, and like I just did it for fun one meet because my brother did them, so I wanted to see what I could get, and I ended up like running 45 seconds my first time doing it. So it was like, and I really liked it, so that's kind of what got me into it. And then
okay, wow. I didn't know the first 2 years. I didn't know you actually came in from Minnesota. And so when you actually started, or before you even, or when you started the hurdles and then you started to focus on the hurdles, did you ever think of like, this could lead to a state title? Did you ever think that this could lead to competing for a Division I college?
I mean, I like fell in love with track my sophomore year, so my goal definitely was to compete D1, like that was my main goal. And then obviously like with time, like knowing that like going into it, I obviously wanted to win a state title, but I knew if I worked hard and I kept pushing at it, like I could eventually do that, and like completing that goal was really fun for me.
And you're headed to Kansas State. You're literally going from being a Niwot Cougar to a Kansas State Wildcat, which is kind of funny. Talk about the decision to go to Kansas State. Yeah,
it was a really hard decision, and the recruiting process was super grateful for it, but definitely was a stressful process for sure. But honestly, I remember like for early signing, I was like kind of disappointed because I knew I probably wasn't gonna do early signing because I didn't know what I wanted to do yet. I was kind of in between two schools, Kansas State and another school. And I remember Oklahoma State.
Okay, cool. Sorry I interrupted you.
No, you're fine, you're fine. And then I remember like I like went to sleep that night. I was like, just give me a sign, like. And then the next morning, the coach there texted me about my scholarship and all the stuff, and I committed right away.
So on the note of Kansas State, we're in these Kansas State chairs, which I know you can't see the Wildcat thing because we're sitting on them. But so my wife ran for Kansas State.
Oh, seriously?
She ran track and field and cross country.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Hence the chairs.
I love that. That's awesome.
And yeah, Manhattan's a great place. I lived there for a couple of years.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
So yeah, when I saw you were going there, I was like, this is actually kind of awesome because like. We have a lot of purple stuff,
so that's so cool.
And we always root for Kansas State football, basketball, the whole spectrum. So
that's super cool.
Yeah, I thought that was
that's so funny.
That was cool. But so you're headed to Kansas State after winning multiple state titles here. Talk about the transition, like what, or actually before we talk about that, like what was you mentioned like you were looking for a sign. Was there anything else besides that text and kind of changing some of the scholarship information that was like appealing to you about Manhattan or Kansas State? Well,
for like obviously each recruitment visit was really cool, but especially at K-State, like all the coaches talked to me, everyone showed interest in me, and at some schools, like some coaches came up and talked to me, but some of the head coaches like were either too busy, but like K-State made their time for me. That's and cool. I found that really like different than all the other schools, and I feel like they just put their all into all their athletes and care about, like every coach cares about each athlete, doesn't matter what event they do, and everyone just seems like a family there. And I really
it's like the tradition thing is it totally plays like
for sure, and that's something I was definitely looking for when I was looking for schools. So
any idea of what you're looking to study?
Business.
Okay, wow. Like what specifically about business, or like?
Right now I'm going in as a marketing major, but there's so many different.
I know it's
business, so I don't even know. I'll probably change it.
Moving ahead, because we talked about a lot of track and field, how you got into it, the performances and everything. I want to talk about like you, like specifically like what's like favorite movies, favorite shows, like what are you into right now?
My favorite movie would definitely have to be Grown Ups. I don't know why, I just love that movie, it's so funny. And then my favorite TV show is Love Island.
Oh wow.
I love it. Oh my gosh, it's so interesting, and like they love you on a like, what's it called, like a catcher, or like after each episode, so like makes you want to come back more, but I love that show.
Music.
I love country music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like listen to anything particular before you compete actually?
I listen to I do like Torn Up by Don Toliver. That's like gets me pumped up. But then for country music, I thought it was Love by Ty Myers. I honestly like really calming music before I run.
Okay, wow.
Like
you have to be the first athlete I've talked to that's like, I get pumped up to country music. But I know there are like upbeat songs, but that's funny. That's actually true. The whole calming part, I would imagine would be super helpful, particularly when you're running the hurdles, because that looks stressful to me. But do you have any favorite books?
Favorite books? I can't think of the name. Well, Ends With Us, I like that book. I'm not really a big book reader, but like that's a book that like I read on my free time and I actually finished. But
and now is summer. Obviously, you're headed to Kansas State in like a month or so. Or are you going early?
I move in at August 20th.
Okay, cool. How do you spend the rest of the time here in Colorado?
I'm on a nice break right now, which I'm so happy about. But after this break, I'm just going to be training with my coach here until I go there in the fall.
Any vacations, anything fun?
I'm going to Minnesota to see my friends and family there for the 4th. Okay. And then probably we have a house in Florida, so I think at the end of July we're going to go there with my whole family.
I have to ask, where in Minnesota?
Minnetonka.
Okay, so is that like it's like south of Duluth?
Yeah, it's like right next to Minneapolis, like just outside of it.
I've only been there once.
Really?
I drove, but yeah, so I think it's actually really cool. Favorite moment of the last 2 years? Oh, there's 2 questions. High school, as all 4 years, or if it's the same one that works too. But the last 2 years being here at Niwot.
Probably I would say my favorite part of high school was probably here at Niwot, and honestly, like my favorite moment, like moving here was super difficult, especially in the middle of my junior year, and just like my track teammates, like they made moving here so much easier, and like honestly, like track was like kind of like my safe space, and like I knew like people wanted me there. So just like everything about track practices were so fun, even those hard workouts. But
like on that note, I know like Niwot has like such a community aspect, which is that's why I think to me it makes sense that you're going to Manhattan, you're going to go to Kansas State, because I feel like the Niwot community is like they rally behind the team, they rally behind the athletes. Talk about that experience.
Definitely, like at my old school, like we had that in a factor, but coming from my old school in Minnesota to Niwot was just such a big change. Like my coach Darius Reed, like I think of him as like my second dad, like and having that relationship with him is something I've never had with a coach. And then like all my teammates, like one of my best friends is a thrower. I'm good friends with all the cross country kids. Like I didn't have that at my old school. Like I was just friends with like the people in my group. So that's definitely something that I saw changed a lot, and I really like that for sure.
So this is an oddball question, and we can skip it if you want, but I saw a photo from your graduation, and it's like the big cardboard cutout. I don't have to put that in here if you don't want, but
you
can you give the backstory to that?
Yeah, so my brothers are just like, they tease me, and I'm the youngest of my family, and I don't know why. I knew they were going to make like fat heads of me. I didn't know what photo, and that's just a photo my brother picked out.
He just picked out the craziest one? And so we're here at the Niwot Market. I have to ask, do you come here, and then what's your go-to meal here? I do come here a lot for lunch, and then my go-to would have to be the pasta salad. Yeah? So good, and then I always get a strawberry lemon poppy. Yeah? Okay, my mouth watered a little bit at the pasta salad, because their pasta salads are really good. They're so good. So are the chips and salsa. Oh yes. Also the Philly cheesesteaks. I do like Philly cheesesteaks. There's a lot of good food here, and I'm not just saying that because they're a sponsor and that we're here, but it actually is really good. Maybe like any last thoughts that you have before you head to Kansas? I'm honestly just super excited. Like obviously moving here was a big step in like meeting new people and stuff, and I feel like I'm ready to honestly branch out again and meet new people. So I'm super excited to also just grow as an athlete and as a person, and I'm just super excited. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you. That about wraps up this week's edition of Spiked Up. As always, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll have plenty of episodes going throughout the entire summer. One more shout out to the Niwot Market. I think I'm gonna go get some pasta salad or maybe some salsa. I'm kind of undecided at this point. But as always, I'll see you on the track. Doing it all for you, my Lewis. I'm just getting started. Doing it all for you, my Lewis. So I show you spark. Doing it all for you, my Lewis. I'm just getting started. Doing it
And this is Spiked Up.
Welcome to Spiked Up.
Welcome to Spiked Up.
Welcome to Spiked Up.
Hey there, Colorado track and field fans. Welcome to this week's edition of Spiked Up. As always, I'm Bobby Ray as your host. Now, we are here at the Niwot Market, our sponsor,